As bad as her childhood had been, she'd been truly happy for a few short months while living in this house. Especially that first Christmas after her mother had married Morris. In the dark, cobwebby corner to her left, she could easily imagine the splendid tree that had once stood there, proudly bearing 1,000 twinkling lights and an abundance of shiny gold balls. That was the first time her family had possessed enough money to buy a tree any taller than a token 3 or 4 feet. And to have it flocked with fake snow and decorated so elegantly was really an extravagance. Every year since she'd become an adult, Lucky bought as big a tree as her current abode would allow and always flocked it, on principle. But she'd been living off the money she'd inherited from Morris, which was barely enough to get by on since she gave most of it away. In order to keep traveling, she'd had to cut down on expenses. The places she'd been renting for a few months here and 6 weeks there had low ceilings and generally weren't the nicest, which meant she'd never been able to duplicate the opulence of that damn tree. She wrinkled her nose at the musty smell and glanced back at the open door before moving deeper into the house. The moonlight filtered through the bare, thick-paned windows, painting silver squares on the hardwood floor, and, together with the faint beam of her flashlight, made it possible for her to see. The Georgian-style staircase rose up in front of her. A large office with double doors jutted off to the right, along with what used to be an impressive library. Lucky waved the cobweb out of her way and poked her head into the library, then the office, relieved to find them both vacant of scurrying animals and, thank God, anything larger. She continued her search, pausing to listen carefully here and there until she reached the kitchen and family room. Situated at the back of the house, they were more like one big room, with floor-to-ceiling windows that curved into a semicircle and looked out over the pond at the bottom of the hill. Unfortunately, most of the windows at the back were broken now. Bending to retrieve a small rock lying among the glittering shards of glass on the old stone floor, Lucky tossed it up and caught it again. So much had changed. Morris was dead. Her mother, too. Her brothers, Sean and Kyle, who were both older than she was, had sold the land they'd inherited and moved elsewhere. But the feeling of being unwelcome here, the resentment of this small community, seemed to linger. Lucky threw the rock away and watched it skitter across the floor. So much for the hope that coming back would be easier than she'd anticipated. Owning a house didn't make it a home. Considering the state of the Victorian, she wondered whether she should sleep in her car. A metallic blue '64 Mustang, it was fully restored and beautiful. But sitting out in her car would be as cramped as it was cold. She'd be better off inside. Despite the creepy feel of the place, she hadn't seen anything more threatening than a few spider webs. Discarded trash here and there indicated that others had been inside the house since it had been closed up, but nothing showed recent activity. Her tension easing, Lucky delved into her backpack and retrieved her supplies. 10 tall, fragrant candles, 3 fire starter logs, matches, a jug of water, trail mix, and barbecue-flavored sunflower seeds. Her suitcase, cleaning supplies, and bedding were still out in the car. With its stone floor and broken windows, the kitchen was colder than the front of the house. But the family room portion had a wood-burning stove and provided the most natural light. Come morning, Lucky planned to make the place livable. For now, she blew on her hands to warm them. She just needed to get through the next 6 or 7 hours. She lit the candles, then arranged them on the marble countertop. They created a dim, ethereal glow and gave off a comforting scent that helped dispel the dank odor of neglect. Building a fire didn't take long either, thanks to the starter logs. When Lucky was a senior in high school